Let's talk about 12-lead perspectives and why we do 12 leads. Let me pose this question to you. What's this? How about a different angle? Well, here's the bottom. Let's try another angle. Any guesses now? Soup? What kind? Let's check a different camera angle. Oh, getting closer. It's Campbell's. Campbell's soup, but what kind? After getting different perspectives, we know it's a can of Campbell's tomato soup. Think about that. With just one view, we have a very limited perspective, but after multiple views, we finally see the whole picture. And this is why we do a 12 lead. We get different slices or camera angles of the heart. And this is why it's important that we do our lead placement religiously. Specifically your precordial leads or your chest leads. They are looking at the horizontal axis of the heart. And if you're off by more than half an intercostal space, you'll change that picture. So it's important to have a good camera angle to view the different chambers of the heart. V1, V2, look at the septum. V3, V4, look at the anterior wall of the left ventricle. And V5 and 6, look at the lateral wall, the low lateral wall of the septum. And before we start to do EKGs, we have to be able to remember localization of the EKG. Always start with ISAL or ICL leads, whether it looks like an easy EKG or a difficult EKG. If you always go through this pattern of looking for ischemia, injury, and then infarction, going through these 4 steps, you won't miss anything. First, check leads 2, 3, and AVF for ischemia, which is ST segment depression or T-wave inversion. Then check for ST segment elevation in all 3 leads. Remember to call an inferior wall MI, whether it's ischemia, injury, or infarction, you need 2 out of the 3 contiguous leads, or the leads that represent AVF. Finally, look for Q waves, and those are pathological Q waves, and I'll cover physiological versus pathological Q waves next. After we look at the inferior leads, we move up to check the V leads as an S septal. V1, V2, checking for ischemia, injury, infarction. T-wave inversion, ST segment depression. For ischemia, looking for ST segment elevation. In both these leads, remember 2 or more contiguous leads, 2 out of 2, or Q waves meaning infarction. So that's inferior and septal. We're going to move on to anterior, which is lead 3 and 4. You need 2 out of the 2 to call the anterior wall ischemia, injury, or infarction. Finally, we have leads 5 and 6, looking for ischemia, injury, infarction. Now these are low lateral. To look at high lateral, we're looking at lead 1 and AVL for ischemia, injury, infarction. Once you've checked all those, your job is done. Thanks for viewing.